Hey, I'm back. I'd like to take a little bit of time to make this video. I don't know when I'm going to do another old-time window, double-hung window with brick mold and cap again. So I just want to take some time here. And my name is Len David Hart, by the way. And just explain and show how I'm doing this, because I think it's a worthwhile thing, and I think it's something that can help somebody who would like to try to do this, or maybe you already do it. You know, I'm not saying this is the only way. This is the way I do it. And so this is what I've got myself doing today. I've got this brick frame capped. I used the Tapco brake buddy to make this profile on my aluminum trim coil. This is regular old 019 that you buy at any building supply store. This is Mastic brand. It's a pretty good coil. I'm in the process of installing the drip cap. So what I did was I draw this camera in a little bit. I drilled the nails out. They were aluminum nails they had in here. I drilled them out. Each one I drilled out. Drilled that guy out. Drilled them all out. And then I took a nail set and I drove the nails in. Now, anybody familiar with asbestos siding or this cement type siding knows that at each seam there's a piece of like 30-pound felt, a 3-inch strip that goes in behind each seam, and it goes on top of this piece, but not quite out to the exposure, and it's to shed the water beyond the seam and onto the next piece. So behind that seam right there, there's a piece of 30-pound felt, about 3 inches wide, and it sets on top of this piece, but not below the edge of this exposure here. That being said, I took some regular old cedar shims, some Atlantic white or white Atlantic cedar, whatever they are, shims, you get them anywhere. I put them in there, and once I cut this paint, I just snuck this thing in here enough to where I got the panel, the cement siding, pulled away from this other piece. Did the same thing over here. And the nails, by the way, I don't know if I mentioned this or not already or not, but they were aluminum, and I was able to drill them out with like a 7/64 bit. If you very carefully drill them, you can get them out. You just have to take your time, start slow, and keep the bit, no matter what you got to do, keep the bit centered on the nail head itself. And if you go off center, you know, tilt the drill any angle you need to get that back on center, so when you cut through the nail head, you're going to cut it right off the shank. Now these pieces here, I've got these installed. These are underneath of the 30-pound felt strips that they got behind these seams. My drip cap is going to install underneath of them. And once that gets installed, I'm going to pull these guys out. They're just like a kind of a tire iron type of deal. So this is just some of the ways you can do this. It's not the only way. I'm not saying it's the best way or whatever. It's the way I do it. And I'm going to put a little bit of tilt on this piece. Here's my piece made. It's going to go up there. This is a drip cap. The very edge, you can see that I'm shaking. That has a hem on it, which is a half in the back, and the face of it is 9/16. This is about 1 7/8, and this is 2 inches going up. And I'm going to attempt to slide that thing up in there. And I will have a little bit exposed here of the aluminum, because I took out a piece of old-fashioned drip cap. But that's no big deal, because the guy eventually is going to side this place. I think he's talking about next year. So I'm just showing how I'm going to work this piece in here. I've added in already, and I changed the design of it a little bit on the face. I made this face a little smaller. It was too bold, so I reduced it down to a 1/2 inch rather than 3/4 of an inch. I don't want the drip cap to be overpowering and to hide the top of the window. I want the window to be seen as much as possible. So that's some of the things. I hope you can get something out of this video, and thanks for stopping around. About a 4 3/4 of a minute video. Have a good day.